What is the fate of Warner Brothers? Will the Eternals be the next big Marvel movie? And does spicy chocolate taste good? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. And stop the presses, we have breaking news. We are starting the Toddcast off hot today. We have breaking news from everyone's favorite fast food restaurant, especially mine. Sonic Drive-In is now serving boba. That's right, you heard it here first. Probably not here first, you probably heard it somewhere else. But anyway, Sonic is now serving boba. No, I'm not talking about Boba Fett from Star Wars. I am talking about boba, the little balls of whatever that you normally get from sushi restaurants or somewhere else. I've seen them at sushi restaurants, but they might be served anywhere else that you may have known to get a boba tea. Those little ball things, I have no clue what they are, but Sonic Drive-In is now serving drinks with boba. And I've never had boba before. I guess this is God's way of making me try boba. Is putting it in my favorite fast food restaurant. It says that they're starting May 31st and going all the way until August 1st. So this boba at Sonic, this Sonic boba, is that because that's what I'm going to call it. Sonic boba is going to be available all summer long, starting the last day of May, going to the 1st of August. Now, apparently some Sonics have already started serving boba, because I've seen through social media, especially on Facebook, and I've seen some people on Instagram and Snapchat, that there are different people getting boba from Sonic. That they, like, one person knew about it, told his friends, and they told a bunch of people, and they told a bunch of people, and put it on their stories and social media, and that's how it's already spread throughout the people that I know. But I'm letting all of you know that you can go ahead on May 31st, literally this coming up Monday, so the day this is available on YouTube, go get you a boba drink from Sonic. Now they have 4 different flavors, and they're calling them bursting bubble drinks, which that could have been a better name, but they're calling them bursts for short. So you can get like a blast or a slush, but when you add boba into the drink, it is called a burst. So they have the blue burst, which is blue raspberry, the blue burst slush, which is just the blue raspberry slush, and then a cherry burst and a cherry burst slush. And whenever you add the boba, of course, like I just said, that's what makes it a burst now. And even though those are like the 4 advertised flavors, are just blue raspberry, well, 2 flavors, blue raspberry and cherry, but you can get a blue raspberry drink with the burst, and you can get a slush version of that with the either blue raspberry or cherry. But like I said, those are only the advertised ones. They'll probably add it to the app that day as well. And they also said if you go to the screen order, you will be able to add boba to any drink you want. You could add boba to water, or you can even add boba. I might even try me some boba in a Diet Coke. You know, that might actually be good. I don't know what boba is. I've never had it before, but I remind you, this is my favorite fast food restaurant chain ever. And that if they're getting boba, looks like I'm getting boba. So I will be telling all of y'all about it in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be one heck of a summer. I already knew that, because since COVID's going down and a lot of people's getting vaccines and not many people's dying or getting sick anymore, summer 2021 is going to be one for the ages. Let me just tell all of you that, because people can go back to concerts and the hangout and all that kind of stuff in Gulf Shores and beaches or whatever. It's going to be packed, and it's going to be just all amazing while we're sitting around drinking our blue and cherry burst from Sonic. Up until August 1st, that is. So, if you want to try boba, or if you already like boba, head on to Sonic next week. Head on to Sonic starting basically in June, it starts the last day of May, but I'll just go ahead and say they only do that because that's a Monday as well. And it's one of their limited time summer things, like the entire summer for 3 months, all the way from May 31st to August 1st, get you some Sonic Boba. So I will let y'all know about it. Like this person says, he thinks it'd be, imagine an ice cold cherry limeade with some boba in it. So who knows? I may be a boba connoisseur by the end of the summer. So y'all be ready for that. So anyway, there has been some news that has been happening in the past 2 weeks. Big news, really, is coming out of AT&T. Now, whether you like AT&T or not, I have AT&T as my cellular provider. Me and my family and a lot of people that I know, because AT&T is a lot better in my area, especially where I live, since I live out in the country. Verizon, we used to have Verizon. Verizon was the first provider I had whenever I got my first phone. And Verizon sucked out here because there's an AT&T tower like a couple miles away from me. So it's like we get service from there. And not to mention we have Wi-Fi in the house too. But Verizon is just like, it's good in the towns and cities and on interstate. Anywhere else you get like 10 miles away from like a main road, is Verizon just gets crappy. So I would have like one bar in like one corner of the house, and then everywhere else it literally would say no signal. And then most of the time you'd have to go outside to get good signal. Well, I didn't want to be outside on social media, like that's not what you do. You stay inside and stay on your phone, or you go outside and do something else. Like you don't go outside to get on your phone because one, I can't see because of the sun. And then at night there's a million billion bugs out trying to eat me up, especially all the mosquitoes all on my legs. So we got AT&T. I don't remember when we got AT&T, but we swapped over, and I think we did the bundle. No, we didn't do that yet because we had Verizon and Dish. And then we got DirecTV first. And we were used and it's so weird whenever you go from no signal to literally like always having 3 or more bars with LTE. And I felt like a completely whole new man, because I was able to get on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all that with no lag and not having to load for 5 minutes or whatever. And we used up so much data for months. We just used up like having to go over every month and having to pay, and rollover was rollover a thing? I don't remember if that was Verizon or AT&T. I don't remember. It was AT&T phone. Sorry, I said DirecTV, but it was AT&T. So we had AT&T and still had Dish, and we was okay with Dish because it was good and it worked. I mean, it was just TV, if you could get the channels. And we already had the channels memorized. I can still remember what some of the channel numbers are. Like 120 is USA, and the 170s are Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. All those channels are the 170s. 214, I think, was the Weather Channel. I always remember that. And then we swapped to DirecTV. This is just background on all my providers, I guess. So we swapped to DirecTV from Dish. That way we had that, and we got the bundle of unlimited with Direct and AT&T. And I know a lot of people got that, and some people around here as well got that because AT&T was better. And we were like, we're just swapping. We lost everything on like the DVR recordings, but we got unlimited data, and that was like the big plus for us because, I mean, we're using like 100 gigs a month or more. And I know that sounds like, whoa, you're on your phone a lot. Well, it's like, it's 3 phones, 2 iPads if they're on at any time during the month, and my laptop. And that was it. And then once we got unlimited, I started, but then we also had like a little Wi-Fi box, and so I would Wi-Fi PS4 to it. So then that was added on to it. And then if any other family members came over and had the Wi-Fi password, and they were on that. and it was all on one plan. So it was like, we're using a lot. And then you always get a message saying you've used 75% of your data. And it's like, well, I hardly doubt I've used 75% of unlimited. It's like, I know I'm on my phone a lot. Like, I'm on my phone hours a day. And I don't think I can use 3/4 of infinity. Like, I know it could be possible with the amount of time I'm on my phone, but I don't think that's true. It's like, AT&T, I think you're tripping a little bit. So, with all that being said, and having nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about, AT&T owns Warner Brothers. AT&T, of course, is a big, gigantic company, and they bought Warner Brothers years ago. And, of course, Warner Brothers owns HBO, DC, all the Looney Tunes stuff, like a bunch of stuff, you know. If it's on HBO Max, Warner Brothers owns it, and therefore, since Warner Brothers owns it, AT&T owns it. And AT&T is just a gigantic company that owns a bunch of other companies. Like, AT&T is like Disney, because Disney owns Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, all their other stuff, you know, like the actual Disney, Pixar, everything like that, you know. That's the way AT&T is, because they have Warner Brothers, but then Warner Brothers has everything else, all of the shows and movies and everything. So what's happening with this news is that apparently AT&T is going to merge Warner with Discovery. And it's like a big deal, apparently. And it's like $1 billion deal. One of those, you know, where it's just buying another company type stuff. And I don't know if HBO Max, I doubt HBO Max is going away. I don't think it's going to, you know. And it's supposed to, like, put more money towards making original content for HBO Max. And I don't think this merger is going to be that big of an effect for us as, like, normal people, as the viewers, you know. It could change the landscape, but I'm not real sure. Like, AT&T bought Time Warner in 2018. And on last Monday, it was a $43 billion deal that is described as a U-turn for AT&T, which acquired Time Warner. They acquired Time Warner for $85 billion in 2018, and now here we are 3 years later, and they're selling it for pretty much half the price. So yeah, AT&T owns HBO, CNN, Warner Brothers, TBS, and DC Comics. So yeah, they own a lot. I don't know why this is happening. Discovery Plus, the Discovery Channel, is what they're merging with. So all this stuff on HBO Max that's owned by Warner is going to merge with Discovery. And what this is that HGTV, the Food Network, TLC, Oprah Winfrey Network, Animal Planet, and the Discovery Channel are all merging with Warner Brothers and DC, which has Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Cinemax, and also CNN, TBS, and TNT. So yeah, because with all this being said, and it's going to put it all on one streaming service, that HBO Max will officially have the most content of any streaming service in the business today. Meaning that they would beat out Netflix. Because currently I think it's either Netflix or Disney Plus that has the most. But I think it's Netflix, because Netflix has, like, over half of their stuff is originals. It's either originals or just older movies. Because most everything else is going to, like I said, HBO Max or Disney Plus or Paramount Plus is one now. And then they also have Hulu. So it's like you got all these other, and Amazon Prime, of course, which they also bought MGM. That was another deal that just happened. Amazon Prime purchased MGM which now gives them access to the 007 movies. So Amazon Prime may have a series, an original series, not too long from now, that they might do a series on James Bond 007, which I would be interested in because I like the 007 movies. So yeah, it's just this big deal. I don't really know what it's about. I'm reading an article right now, and it's so many words. Also, which Disney is looking to buy Warner Brothers, which is, oh man, that's a big rumor that apparently Disney is looking to buy it, because they say ever since AT&T bought Warner is that they run DC into the ground. And Disney's not buying all of Warner, actually. Disney is buying just the DC part. Which, think about this. Now, just picture this. If you have Disney Plus, or whether you don't, or you want to get it. If you have Disney Plus, imagine this. Having Marvel, Star Wars, and DC all on one streaming service under one company. It is heavily, I'm talking heavily rumored. This is almost, it's not as rumored as much as all the characters in the next Spider-Man movie, but it's still rumored pretty a lot. Pretty a lot, that's the right words. It's rumored pretty a lot that Disney could buy DC, merge it with Marvel, therefore Kevin Feige, the executive man, or whatever he is, the guy in control of all of things Marvel, will also be in control of everything DC related. Therefore, at some point, you never know, either animated or live action, we could get an Avengers versus Justice League movie or series. So yeah, we could have those crossovers happen. And then therefore which that's the trifecta, the holy trinity of all things, whether you say nerdy or anything. The trifecta of the universes is Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. Those three are literally the holy trinity that makes good nonfiction. Is nonfiction the right word? Maybe it's fiction. Yeah, fiction is not real, right? Fiction. Yeah, everything that's fiction. Yeah, Star Wars, Marvel, and DC are literally the holy trinity of fictional movies and series that take over the world. That's solely my opinion. And at least they're the main three for me anyway. And having them all owned by one company being Disney, we wouldn't get, of course, DC, I think, would be affected a little bit because we wouldn't get a good dark movie like they do. That's not like Marvel, because DC all normally have darker set movies, like with Batman or Superman. But the idea of Disney owning Batman and Superman, that's just weird to me. So yeah, AT&T's going to merge Warner with Discovery. We'll see how that pans out. And it's heavily rumored that DC might get bought out by Disney. So, it might be pretty good. It's either going to be Disney or who else was looking for it. Was it Netflix? Netflix or Amazon, I think we're also looking at it. Which, if Netflix got DC, they would have to start putting movies in theaters. Which they did with Army of the Dead. The Batista movie, or starring Batista, is directed by Zack Snyder. That was on Netflix. They put it in theaters, I think, for a week. And it's also in theaters right now. That Netflix, now that the pandemic is starting to die down, Netflix is starting to consider to put movies in theaters before they go directly to Netflix. And what they were considering doing is have them run for 2 to 3 weeks in theaters and then go directly to Netflix while it stays in theaters for a little longer. Which that movie was pretty good. I watched all of it last week. So yeah, it was pretty good. So speaking of DC, there's a movie that's going to be made. I think it's going to be animated. What's this called? It's a movie called The League of Super Pets in the DC universe. Oh, I said the wrong word. I'm currently Googling it. League of Super Pets. So let's see what we got. The League of Super Pets is owned by DC. It's an upcoming 3D computer animated superhero comedy film. Interesting. Oh, it's going to look real. It's live action. Okay. That's all I need to know. It's going to be a live action movie, of course, animated, kind of like the Planet of the Apes movies, or what was that movie? The Wild. So it had Harrison Ford and that dog in it, and the dog didn't look real, but kind of did, you know. They're doing that with the DC movie, and the lead character in this movie is going to be Crypto the Super Dog. So if you have any knowledge of DC comics or older DC shows, there was a show called Crypto the Super Dog, which was a solid white dog that had the powers of Superman that could fly. He had a red cape. It was a pretty good show. I watched it when I was a kid. And they're going to be making a movie based off of him and other pets in the DC universe. But it was just announced that the League of Super Pets lead character Crypto the Super Dog will be voiced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So yes, we will be having, because apparently The Rock has a deal with DC, which if they go to Disney, that means The Rock could be in Marvel or Star Wars movies too, which would be something. But The Rock will be voicing Crypto the Super Dog, and he's also already filming currently the Black Adam movie, which is going to be really good. I'm very much looking forward to it. Not only just because it's a Rock movie, but because I like the character Black Adam from DC. He seems pretty cool, and he's kind of like, he's in the Shazam storyline, because he's like he's like the main villain of Shazam. He wasn't in the first movie, and he probably won't be in the second, because the second's going to be that worm at the end of the movie. There's an end credit scene of the Shazam movie, and there's the talking worm who's like an alien. He'll be the lead villain in the next movie, but then in the third Shazam movie, I think Black Adam will be there, which will have Zachary Levi's Shazam going against The Rock as Black Adam, and that movie's just going to be really good. I'm just very excited about it. But also in DC, The Rock is voicing Crypto the Super Dog. So we'll see how that pans out. So, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and switch over to Marvel. Of course, I have to talk about Marvel a little bit, because this past Monday, the trailer was released for The Eternals. I am very much excited about this movie. A lot of people are excited for it. I mean, me and Jaron talked about this last week, about different movies. And of course, I think the most anticipated movie this year has got to be Spider-Man No Way Home. And I'm looking forward to all of them. And of course, Spider-Man, there's 4 movies we're getting this year. And everything else, all the other series that we're going to get. Because the next thing that releases is the Loki series in June, like I've talked about. But speaking on the movies, now this is all in my opinion, of course. I honestly think that, of course, Spider-Man will be the biggest movie this year out of any other movie. Like, I think, honestly, Spider-Man No Way Home will be the biggest, not only Marvel movie, but I think it'll be the biggest box office movie of 2021. And that's just my opinion. And there's other big movies coming out, like Fast and Furious 9 is coming out in June. Literally next month is the next Fast and Furious movie that stars the return of Han and John Cena as Vin Diesel's brother, which will be interesting to see John Cena in a Fast and Furious movie. But he's breaking through pretty big too, because he's also in the next Suicide Squad movie, which will also be good, because we're just getting movies almost every week now at this point. So, this is all my opinion. So without Spider-Man in question, I think the Eternals, like I said in the beginning of this episode, the Eternals is the next big Marvel movie, because it is a group. It's a group movie. other group movies we get in Marvel are the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. And everything else is really a solo movie when you think about like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, any other movie, and any other not really show, but any other movie, like Spider-Man as well, and Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange. There's so many other movies, but like, I'm not saying Black Widow and Shang-Chi aren't going to be good movies. They're going to be good not only because we're finally getting... The last movie we got from Marvel was Spider-Man Far From Home in July of 2019. And now the next one we're going to get is Black Widow in July of 2021. So it's been pretty much almost to the day, 2 whole years that we've been lacking Marvel movies. Of course, we've already gotten WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki will have already premiered and maybe ended. I'm not real sure how many episodes it is, but Loki will have already premiered by then. So we'll have 2.5 to 3 shows, and until we get the Black Widow solo movie. And I'm not saying, like I just said, I'm not saying they're not going to be good. I'm going to definitely watch Black Widow and Shang-Chi, because Black Widow, she's dead. She died. I'm sorry to tell you that, but she is dead. She died in Endgame. And I'm pretty sure she's not coming back. She could, because Marvel can do whatever they want, but I'm pretty sure she's dead. And this movie is taking place between Civil War and Infinity War, and it's also diving more into her backstory. So we're going to see her and introduce more characters and some other characters that we may have seen throughout the Marvel movies, and see all of that, But she's dead, like I just said, and it's a solo movie. So it's like it's going to be it's a Black Widow movie. We're all going to see it, and then on to the next one. And the next movie is Shang-Chi, which is, I think, going to be a little bit bigger because we don't know really who he is. It's going to introduce a whole lot of new characters around him. There might be an end credit scene featuring another Marvel character or introducing the next villain or something like that. And it's also going to be good. Going to watch it. Eternals is a group movie. It is not a solo movie. They have to dive into different stories of each one of these characters. If you don't know, Angelina Jolie is in this movie, in the Eternals, and her character, I think her name is Athena. Not Athena, just Athena. I think that's her name. But in Marvel comic lore, her character, Angelina Jolie's character, Athena, is first cousins with Thanos. And I was like, what? So, and they date back years way before us, because these are like, Eternals are, I think, recognized as gods because they all have powers. And they are, I think, from a different planet. And because I don't really know their story either. But they're way older than us. Like, I'm pretty sure they're like either old as the Earth or just really old. And like, they're gods. They're old. I mean, Thor, he doesn't look old, but he's old. Like Odin, he's very old. Or was before he died. And Loki, he's also old. So it's like they're gods. So they have this age thing where it's like they live thousands and thousands of years. And so that's why I'm saying we might get a scene with a younger version or any age version of Thanos. So, when you're watching the Eternals in November, just remember that Angelina Jolie is now the first cousin of Thanos. So that'll be very interesting to see if Thanos pops up in that movie. As in Thanos before everything in Infinity War and Endgame. Which would mean he either getting the gauntlet, or maybe even before the franchise started. Like, way, way, way back then. Thousands of years back then. I'm talking like young, baby, teenage, or like young adult, or maybe adult, full adult, somewhere in that age range of Thanos. So, it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to each Marvel movie. I cannot tell you which one I'm more anticipated to see. It's got to be see, I've already given my examples of the three, and then there's Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is just like, it's Tom Holland and Zendaya and all these characters that are just amazing, and a bunch of characters that are rumored to be there that I don't know if they're going to be there. So, like, Spider-Man No Way Home is just like, I'm excited and I don't know. Like, that's my two emotions for that movie is yay and what? That's my two emotions for the Spider-Man movie. So, and it might be my two emotions whenever it ends, after I walk out of the theater. It's either going to be what or me bawling my eyes out. So, anyway, I'm looking forward to all of them, and of course all the series. I won't list them off. I mean, you can just Google it, and I've listed it off pretty much every week for the past month or two. So, but I'm excited for each series, and also all the other movies and series that are coming after 2021, and everything in Star Wars, of course, as well. So every other week, on the Toddcast Instagram page, which you should be following at _Toddcast_, only on Instagram, nowhere else. Go ahead and follow the Toddcast Instagram page. And every other week, there is usually a story that is posted where you can ask me a question that you would like for me to answer on the Toddcast. You can also head over to my YouTube channel, which the link is down in the description of this podcast episode, on whatever podcast provider that you are on, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Google, or any other podcast provider. In the description of this episode, there is a link down there. Go towards it. It should be youtube.com/ and a bunch of letters and numbers. Click on that or tap on it, and it'll take you to YouTube, to my channel. Click subscribe and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And go to an episode of the Toddcast and go ahead and like it, of course. And down in the comments below, ask a question that you would like for me to answer. There we go, on a future episode of the Toddcast. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. Either way you want, whether it be on Instagram or YouTube. And with all that being said, I have two questions right here from the public, from all of you wonderful people. And I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability right now. So here we go. First question we got was a would you rather question. I love would you rather questions. Which movie world would you rather be in? Okay. I Am Legend or World War Z? Oh, that's a good question. I did talk about COVID, so I guess we're going to talk about viruses now and zombie movies. There's a lot of zombie movies out there. Speaking of zombie movies, Army of the Dead's on Netflix. It's pretty good. You should go check it out. Batista's really good in that movie. Crap. That's a hard question. So, it's two separate movies, but both of them are zombie, and both of them are not ones that I would want to be in. So just think about that. You want to be in I Am Legend or World War Z? See, World War Z was normal when the movie started. I don't think I Am Legend was. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie I Am Legend. And World War Z. It's been a while. I think I've seen World War Z more. I think I've seen it more. I don't really know. I've seen World War Z sooner than I have I Am Legend, if you understand what I'm saying. But you look at what the zombies were in that movie. In World War Z, I mean, that was the one where they were all piling on top of each other, getting across that wall. And it's like they were so fast. It's hard to survive in that kind of world. And I Am Legend, they weren't full zombies. They were just something else. They were like just some type of infected. But they found the cure at the end of World War Z. Brad Pitt figured it out. And did they end up getting the cure on I Am Legend? I know Will Smith, spoiler, Will Smith died at the end of that movie. Or not at the full end, but at one point. And then that woman left, and she went to that camp or whatever. And because that's what he did with that other one. He found a cure, I'm pretty sure. So at the end, both of them had a cure. But I guess you're asking me, I'm going to take it in the context of not when the movie ended. It's just like I'm popping in at some point in the movie during the infection or their pandemic or any point during the zombies and all that. God, that's a hard one. Do you want to be... Basically, do I want to die in World War Z or do I want to die in I Am Legend? Like, I don't know if I'm surviving that long either way. You look at it with these two movies. I guess I could... Oh, dang it. World War Z seems easier. Like, no offense, but from what I've seen, I Am Legend didn't show much, but at the end, when they were in that house and they were getting, like, overrun, like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm trying to remember the parts that I've seen. Because I've seen both of these movies all the way through and more than once. I'd have to pick World War Z, which, I mean, I Am Legend would be cool. Well, no, they couldn't go out during the day. That was a thing in I Am Legend. They only came out at night. And World War Z is... Okay, I'm changing my answer. I'm going with I Am Legend. I would be in that movie because I would just go out during the day and then make sure I'm boarded up and protected at night then. Because that was the thing, is that they couldn't go out during the day because they only... Did they only come out at night? Yeah, they only came out at night because I think the sun burned them. I think that's what happened. I need to rewatch that movie. It's a really good movie. So yeah, to answer your question, it's a really good question, by the way, is I want to go with I Am Legend over World War Z. I think it would be better. I feel like I might have because the zombies, or the infected, or whatever you want to call them, they seem more ruthless in I Am Legend and more human-like, but World War Z is all day, every day, coming at you until I gotta wait for Brad Pitt to find the cure, or to make it, you know. Which I'm waiting for Will Smith to make it too, and they get it to them people. Which they didn't put it out there like World War Z. They cured the people, and then the zombies wouldn't notice anybody, and then they just killed all of them, and they were burning like big piles of them. So they actually saved the world at the end of it, you know. I'm going to go with I Am Legend, though. I feel like living in the world in, like, the middle of the movie, I might be okay. Especially during the day. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go with I Am Legend. God, that'd be pretty hard, though. So, next question we got, and thank you for these questions. Next question we got is another Would You Rather question. Would you rather have no more candy or no more cookies for the rest of your life? Oh, my gosh. No more candy or no more cookies. Crap. So it's like no more homemade cookies, no more packaged cookies from Walmart or any grocery store, no more Chips Ahoy. I consider Oreos cookies, so no more Oreos. But candy is like Reese Cups, anything else that has chocolate, any like Nerds is also a favorite of mine. Dang it. What do I eat more of? That's the question. Do I eat more candy or more cookies on like a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever? Do I eat more candy or more cookies? I'm going to go with no more cookies. I know that's shocking, even though that I feel like if you go no more candy, that'd be the healthier option, but forget being healthy. I eat more candy normally than I do cookies, which would be, I guess, more healthy. Like I just said, it'd be more healthy if you said no more candy, and then I don't eat cookies that often unless somebody cooks them. You know, I'm not gonna seek out cookies unless I have like Oreos or Chips Ahoy or something. So I'm gonna say no more cookies just because I eat more candy regularly, and yeah, I mean, I just replace it with more candy to eat, So, yeah, I'm going to go with no more cookies, and then I'm just going to eat candy for the rest of my life. So there you go. So thank you for those questions. I really like the I'm Legend and World War Z one. So if y'all want to ask me more questions like that, or any question you'd like to ask me to be answered on an episode of the Toddcast, please, like I said, follow the Toddcast on Instagram at @the_Toddcast_, and every other week a story is posted, and you can post your questions there. Also, you can post them in the comments section on my YouTube channel on any of the videos. You can do that as well. So thank you for these questions, and I look forward to future questions. So the review for this week is not drinks. It's going to be a little bit different. I have candy review, which one of them's not really candy. I have 2 items here that I'm going to review and see if they are any good and tell y'all if y'all should get it or not. First off is something that I got last night at Walmart, which was the first time I've ever been in a Walmart in almost a year. I'm pretty sure the last time I physically walked in a Walmart was probably last summer, like literally in full effect of COVID, and I'm like, hey, let's go to Walmart. So I go to Walmart. But last night I went to Walmart because I had to get something, and I saw something, and it interested me, and I was like, you know what, I need to review this. And it is, you can already hear the bag, and I'm going to go ahead and apologize if you can hear me chewing. It's okay. It's just, I'm another person like you, and if you hear me chewing and you don't like that, I'm sorry. But the first thing we got, the first item, and if you can see this picture on the Toddcast Instagram page as well, is Cheetos Popcorn. Now, oh, that's great audio. Oh, wow, it's almost a whole bag. Like, this bag is like, imagine a big bag of, oh, it smells amazing, too. Imagine a big bag of, like, Doritos or Cheetos or something. That's what this comes in. And I think it's just like the Smart popcorn, but instead of normal cheese, it's covered in Cheeto dust. So, it smells good. It's just like your normal Cheetos, just popcorn. The bag is pretty much full, and like, good for you, Cheetos. You did pretty well. I don't know if you have any affiliation with Lay's, but apparently not, because you know what you're doing, Cheetos. So you don't have like a quarter of a bag full of popcorn. It's just not a handful. Like, this is the whole bag. So Cheetos popcorn on a scale from 0 to 100 with no decimals. We're going to see where you rank, and I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to try a couple pieces to get a full range of it. Okay. Honestly, to be honest with y'all, I've had a lot of different, like, cheese-covered popcorn in my life. Like cheddar popcorn, And this has got to be some of the best. Like, this is good. I'm going to keep eating it, too. On a scale from 0 to 100, I'm going to give Cheetos Popcorn an 85. Because that's just really good. I really like that. I'm probably going to eat more after this episode is over. I'm going to wash it down. Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. Of course, it makes a little bit of a mess, and you get Cheeto fingers, But other than that, it's just good. I mean, if I would give it a higher score. The only reason I didn't give it any higher is because, one, it's popcorn, and I don't eat popcorn a lot, only because I always get pieces of the kernel stuck in between my teeth, and that's a hard thing to deal with, And that's really it. I mean, it's really good. It may go bad fast. I'm not real sure how popcorn like this is. But it smells amazing. It's got that really good cheese smell. And it's a whole full bag. Like, this is how big is this bag? This is a 7-ounce bag. Yeah, a 7-ounce bag. It's huge. It's best by June 29th, so it's really good. There's 7 servings per container, apparently. I'm just reading off the facts. The nutritional facts. But the fact about this is that it's 85. 85 out of 100. Really good. It's on the chip aisle too. We're literally right next to normal Cheetos. So go check out and get some Cheetos Popcorn. So the next thing is a candy. And if you already saw this on the Instagram page or where I posted it, you already know it was coming. So I've had this for a while now. I don't really remember where it came from. I think my mom got it for me from Cracker Barrel probably, or somewhere else. And I've never seen it before. I've told people about it, and they've never heard about it before. It's from Avery Island, Louisiana. And if you know what is on Avery Island, you already know that this is Tabasco Spicy Chocolate. That's right. I have got a little, what looks like to be a chewing tobacco container. Like a circle, like full on. It's metal, like full on, like chewing tobacco, like dip, you know. But I've never opened this until now. So I'm opening it right now. Okay. Take the top off. It's got one of those little plastic things, like a heart of chocolate that you get for Valentine's Day, assorted. Oh, that's nice. It's cut into... It's in 8 pieces, like a big circle cut into 8 different triangles. It smells like normal chocolate. I think it's just milk chocolate. I think. It's dark chocolate. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm not really a fan of dark chocolate, but I'll eat it. So, I am not ready for this. So, I'm about to eat Tabasco Infused Spicy Dark Chocolate. So, I'm okay with spicy stuff. It's just I don't know if this is going to be good. I don't know if chocolate is meant to be spicy. So, here we go. Let's see where Tabasco Spicy Dark Chocolate ranks on the scale. So, here we go. Okay. Oh. All right. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, water. Oh, I need some milk. I didn't get any. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm closing it. 1 bite was enough out of the wedge. There's 7.5 wedges left. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I lied. Apparently, I'm not good with spicy stuff. Oh, it's right in the top of my mouth, too. Ugh. Oh, gosh. Oh, that was surprising. It's not... That's the thing, though, is that if it was like a pepper or literally some type of hot sauce, I would be prepared for it and be like, okay, I know this is going to be hot. I'm going to be ready for it, you know. But this is chocolate. It's literally a chocolate wedge. And I take a bite out of it, and it's hot. And I'm like, what? You know, like, why is this a thing? Why am I eating spicy chocolate? It's hot, though. It's got a good kick to it. I mean, I haven't had Tabasco sauce in years, so I don't really remember what it tastes like. I'm probably not even going to eat it after this. Eat any of it after eating spicy chocolate. Apparently they have a lot of these, I think. Is that like they have different candy or food infused with their Tabasco sauce. But this was not that bad. I mean, it tasted like normal chocolate, normal dark chocolate at the beginning. But then it just got hotter and it hit me, like, not even on my lips or anything. It hit me, like, in the back of my throat. And I'm like, ugh. But the combination doesn't really go well together because, I mean, it's spicy and chocolate. I've never had spicy chocolate before. And I'm not going to say never say never. But I'm most likely not going to seek this out ever, any kind of spicy chocolate, unless I really want to just eat something weird for the Toddcast or anything. So, on the scale from 0 to 100, I'm just going to give you... I'm going to give you a 52, because, like, I know that may be a higher score than what y'all think that I should give it. The only reason I'm not giving it anything lower is because it's not bad. Like, I'm not I didn't have to spit any of it out. I'm not gagging. I didn't have to puke everywhere. I'm going to have to go back for some Cheetos Popcorn, though, to ease my palate. Oh, they're so good. Oh, and it eases the pain. But yeah, Tabasco spicy chocolate, not that bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It didn't burn my mouth or anything terribly. It wasn't like Carolina Reaper chocolate. Now, that would have killed me. Or habanero chocolate. But honestly, like I said, I give it a solid 52, and the Cheetos Popcorn is staying at a solid 85. So, if you have any drink ideas or drinks that you would like for me to review and try on an episode of the Toddcast, please go to the YouTube channel, watch and listen to one of the videos, and down in the comment section where you can comment a question, comment any brand or specific drink that you would like for me to try and review on a future episode of the Toddcast. So, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank all of you for listening, and as always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast on Instagram for updates. And tell your friends and your family to give it a listen. Tell anybody you want to. And thank all of you once again for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.